Hello there, and welcome to the Bicycle Diaries, and welcome to Whitby again. Here I am at the top of what I call my Dracula run. So I've cycled out from Whitby. I've ridden 12 kilometers and climbed 231 meters, and the road out is just one long climb really, varying from about 3% up to 11%, and it's quite tough, particularly in this full-on headwind that I've got. Plus the ride today is powered by fish and chips and a lot of cake, so you can probably tell that's not going to be the best fuel for cycling, but I made it up here, and now I can just turn around, ride back into Whitby, and of course it's going to be all downhill for about 12 kilometers, so that should be fun, assuming that my headset holds up. If, by the way, this road looks familiar, it's because it featured in the 2018 Tour de Yorkshire. In fact, the KOM points after the 25% climb out of Robin Hood's Bay are still here. As you can see, I'm back at the house, I'm showered and relaxed, and I've got time to reflect on today's ride. All in all, I'm really glad I went out, even though it was pretty tough, and I can tell that I haven't been cycling for a little while. The ride itself was really hard, especially in that headwind on that climb. It was just ferocious, but luckily it was fairly nice with a tailwind on the way back. At one point on the outward leg, I had to overtake a tractor that was cutting the grass on the verge, and it was fairly slow moving, so I overtook it, but it was on another part of the climb, and I was pretty tired, and then I suddenly realised that I'm going to have to get a little bit of distance between me and this tractor if I don't want it to catch me up. That would not only have been rather embarrassing, but it might have been quite dangerous as well. So I had to put a bit of extra effort in there, but luckily I did it. And then I turned for home and did the descent back into Whitby, and I reached speeds of up to 60 kilometers an hour. So obviously I was a little concerned about the headset, and I had to ease off a little bit there, but I've made it back in one piece. The bike's in one piece, and if I need to go out again, which I would like to do, I'm going to have to go over to the bike shop in Pickering and get it sorted. A couple of days ago I noticed that I had a very slight problem with the headset on this bike, which kind of made me a little reluctant to ride it. I thought it might have been dangerous, but even so, as you probably saw, I have done a ride on it and it seemed okay. But I've just come over to Pickering to Big Bear Bikes to give it the once over, just to make sure that it's okay, and just to see if there was anything we could do to tighten up the headset. Basically, there's not a lot they can do today, but they have given it the all clear. Apparently it's not going to fall apart or do anything silly, so I'm going to ride back to a place called Goathland. It's about 20-30 kilometers away. Now there are two main ways at which you can ride to Goathland. There's the main A169 road, which is quite busy across the moors, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take the little back road. The only disadvantage is that I've never ridden that road before in my life. I have no idea what's to come. The Moors Road is actually pretty hilly, and there might be some nasty shocks in store for me. I'm taking a very respectful note of that sign, actually getting off my bike and walking across the level crossing. I once ignored a similar sign, fell off the bike and ended up in hospital with cellulitis, which is probably one of the most painful things you can ever have in your life. That was a bit of a shock. Barely 2.5 kilometres outside of Pickering, and the first climb 300 metres, an average I would guess at about 7%. That was tough. Now, I know the Tour of Yorkshire used this particular road in 2018, but obviously they're professional riders, so they're used to these gradients. So far, I'm 6.5 kilometres outside of Pickering, and apart from that really short, sharp one at the beginning there, the roads are fairly sort of rolling and undulating, and nothing too different from what I'm used to, but we are still in the kind of the countryside. I've even got the wind behind me, so I expect once we hit the moors it will be a lot worse, with 25-30% climbs, and I doubt I'll be riding up those. I'll probably be walking up them. Let's see. Very sharp, little twisty, turny, 16% descent there, and now we're back to climbing again, so immediately back to 6%, and I have no idea how long this goes on for. When you don't know the roads, it's very hard to pace yourself, so that's when cadence and heart rate on your cycling computer become very important, because you can kind of just pace yourself using that. Tough 18%, followed by about 100 meters at 10%. Just no time for recovery. It's really tough. first climbs, 25-30%. Like I said, I've got no idea what's ahead of me here. I've already just come down a 16% descent with a very, very tight little hairpin at the bottom, and then in a climb immediately afterwards. I almost didn't make the hairpin. I did want to get a good run up the climb, to put my speed off, and then just start grinding up it. So it wasn't as bad as I thought, because I had a bit of a breather on the way down, but I think it's going to get a bit tougher from here. Just on an absolutely fantastic 60 kilometers an hour descent, only to be greeted by another 10% climb. I've got something similar coming up. It's quite a long descent by the looks of it, but I can see just winging its way in the distance is the road that I'm going to have to climb, and it looks a real toughie, very long and quite steep and very, very exposed. Wish me luck. I'm at the top of the moors now. I don't think there's anything much higher than I am at the moment. See the sea in the distance. So yeah, that's it should in theory be pretty much downhill now. That last climb I thought I just was not going to make it up. It was a real toughie. Very, very intimidating to have a look at it. But I got up it. It was a grind. It was 18-19% at its steepest. And then I kind of got to the very peak of that, and it was 11-12%, and it carried on, and it leveled out at about 3 or 4%, and it just carried on and on and on. And once it got to 3 or 4%, it was like I was riding something at home then, so I knew I could do it. It's just now pushing on. I think it's about another 10 kilometres to Goathland. Looks like we're back to climbing again. 6-7%. Real toughie again. I don't think I've got more than 3 or 4 kilometres to ride into Goathland now, but I've just descended one of the steepest little descents in my life. It was terrifying, very short, but it was probably about a 25%er, which more than likely means I've got a 25% short, sharp climb ahead of me. Let's see. I'm afraid it's beaten me. I've got to get off and walk. Goathland now, less than 1 kilometre to go. Thank heavens for that. Been a tough old ride. If Goathland is looking a little bit familiar to you, that's because it was used as the location for one of Britain's best loved dramas, the 60s police series Heartbeat. Here we are at destination's end, Goathland railway station, which is one of the stops on the North York Moors Steam Railway, and incidentally it's also been used as one of the filming locations for the steam train sequences in many of the Harry Potter films. All in all, it's been quite a tough ride. Even though it's only been 30 kilometres, the terrain was pretty tough. It was essentially one long climb until I got to the top of the moors. And then there were some pretty sharp descents, including that really tough 25%er and the 25% climb the other side where I had to get off and walk. But it's been a great day on the bike. Thank you once again to Big Bear Bikes in Pickering for sorting the bike out and giving it the full health check. But yeah, thanks for watching.